Spider-Man 2 has been released for a couple months now. I just got it. I've been having kind of a blast, I'm gonna be real. It is definitely not perfect. It's definitely not game of the year, like a lot of people were kind of complaining about, but it's fun. I want to preface that I'm not completely finished with it as of now. I'm like a couple missions away from the finale, and I've seen a lot of what the game has to offer. If my opinions change, I'll add them on to the end of the video. First off, I got a list here. Let's start off with the biggest thing, the thing that everyone plays these games for, the web slinging. It's really improved. The thing is, there's not that much that they added onto it. It feels so much better. I know, I love the first game, but I did have problems with the web swinging. It was a bit stiff sometimes, and animations kind of played over each other, and there weren't that many to begin with. Over the course of 20 hours you're playing a game, you're just gonna run into the same ones like all the time. I think that's the biggest thing that has improved. There's just so many more animations that it feels fresh every time you're swinging. But of course, they also added web wings, which, to be honest, I wasn't really that excited about when they first announced it. But I kind of thought, they're gonna do web wings and they're not really gonna improve web slinging that much. They did it enough to where it's just so much more replayable. Even just like tiny things. When you're diving, if you spin a web, you can do a loop-de-loop. That loop-de-loop is like the most fun I've had in this game probably so far. Like, you can really feel the speed. You can do this wall move where you can like sling onto the wall and turn directions really quickly. That's really cool. Just simple stuff like that breaks up the pace, breaks up the same thing of just holding R2, which can get kind of boring. You can kind of get desensitized to web swinging. Fall damage, I've been wanting fall damage the entire time.
Strong focus on what I want.
You don't run into it that often, but I was slinging a loop-de-loop, swung around, and then I just fucking face planted and I died instantly. Having that fall damage of being like, if you fuck up, you'll die. Like, it doesn't really affect your gameplay, but I'm glad they added it. That's all I want, just falling from a big height and you just fucking face plant and die.
Oh, my back!
Web slinging is definitely improved. You can still improve it a lot more, but mostly of what I wanted to see done was done. Combat is better. They've added more. They've added abilities, and they've changed the gadgets up a little bit. I like the combat in the first game. Like, it's a good combat system, but there's something about this game. I'm not really like ever excited to go fight someone. Whenever you see like random crimes, it's never like, ooh, I really want to go fight that. I don't really care about random crimes, or the fact that like most enemies in the game, in which you fight like a ton of them, or like you have to hit them 8 times before they die, which might not seem like that much. When you're going against like 20 guys at each fight, it's like, it just takes so long, and abilities don't really feel like they have the punch that they should. They feel a bit weaker. But one of the positives of that is when, spoiler alert, you get the symbiote. One of the best moments in the game. Like, every punch, every kick is all so much more powerful. You feel it in the haptic, in the controller. Like, you really feel the power of the symbiote, which is really impressive, and I think it's really fucking cool, to really put yourself in the position of Peter and like feel that strength. And it's like, I want to fucking feel this all the time. I just think it's really well done, and I think they knew that going in. That's like something they stressed. They seemed like they really cared about the symbiote and wanted to kind of like do it justice. Speaking of combat, boss fights are like actual boss fights now. The last game, most of the boss fights were kind of just obstacles. Like, it didn't feel like an actual boss fight or like a fight at all, like how you've been fighting most of the enemies. They're fun, but they're more just like sequences and not like actual fights. I'm not like a huge boss fight guy, and I'm also not very good at video games. I wasn't expecting to really care that much about them. I think that's something that a lot of people haven't really stressed enough. They're way better than the first game. It's fun as hell, honestly. The new map adds a lot of diversity to the environment. Going through like neighborhoods and seeing Pete's home, it's really cool. Seeing just like downtown areas, not just huge skyscrapers. I like the new area a lot. And swinging across bridges is really fun too. You do that a lot. You're just adding more variety to the gameplay loop. Something about the lighting and like daytime looks a lot better. One thing I didn't really love, this is a small thing, the designs of like Kraven's hunters kind of looks stupid. It's like in this Insomniac universe, a lot of people have this like techie combat gear. as their suit. I just don't think it looks good. Like in the engine, the metal or whatever just looks like cheap. Like why does Kraven have to have like energy weapons and shit? Like make him a fucking forest creature. Make them have spears and shit. Also, Harry's suit pre-Venom just doesn't look good. Looks like a weird like Deadpool ripoff. Let's get into some meats and potatoes. And I've seen a lot of people on Twitter just kind of shit talk the story in this game. I think the writing in this game is fine. It does its job, and occasionally you'll have a line that's like really good.
We need to destroy it. Destroy us?
And occasionally you'll have lines that are like fucking really stupid and terrible. And
that wasn't me.
Me neither.
I don't even have a stomach, so...
But for the most part, it's fine. It's not like revolutionary. It's entertaining, most of the story. Certain characters are written really well. I think Kraven is really good in this game. I think fucking every scene he's in, he kind of steals. He feels very consistent. You know, I don't have many interpretations or adaptations of Kraven in my memory, but this is probably the best one I've ever seen. Venom is a big topic. People don't like that Harry is Venom. I don't think it's necessarily a terrible idea. Like, I think you can do good with anything, but it does feel weird. That's the big thing. It's not like exceptional. What is exceptional is Venom's design. Fucking awesome. I love it. He looks perfect. He sounds perfect. There are certain things in this game that are perfect, and I think the people who made it, you can tell that they really cared about making sure Venom and like the symbiote as a whole is done accurately and well, and it is most of the time. I think they also wanted to try something new. They wanted to give an original story. Having it be Harry might have not been the best thing to do. If they stuck to making it like Eddie, I don't think anybody would complain, but I don't know if that would have made it better necessarily. I think it's done okay. I think the story as a whole is pretty much on par with the first game. Maybe a bit more convoluted, a bit more messy. Playing through it, it's got a lot more kind of like climactic and entertaining moments. I like MJ more in this game. I will say the symbiote section where you're playing as Peter and he slowly kind of turns into, you know, fucking emo Peter.
The truth is, I'm the hero here, not you.
It feels kind of contrived to make it like an argument. Harry and Peter, I get that. I actually like that a lot.
I need that suit back.
Like those calls, there's probably the best bit of like Harry character development or character work in the entire game. He's trying to be nice about it, but also just like, I need the suit back. And Pete's just like, okay, well, you know, I'll try. I want Peter to be bad, but at the same time, I don't want it to be like having him be like unconsciously controlled is a little weird.
I just remember feeling tired.
It's kind of like the dark side. I want him to be at fault for what he says. Like he does things that he, you know, doesn't like, but it's still him. It's a corrupted version of Peter. It's not an alien possessing Peter's body. I mean, Spider-Man 3, I think, you know, it's not perfect, but I think that's honestly a really good representation of the symbiote. Because as soon as he does something like far like off the line, like he fucking hits MJ, he's like, oh shit, and he fucking tears it off. I just wouldn't say it's like a definitive Spider-Man symbiote story. It has flaws and it has, you know, high points, but I don't think it's on par with the best Venom representations at all. Speaking of Venom though, when you talk about Venom just by itself, character and the gameplay section where you turn into Venom and you kill like every fucking person, eat Kraven's head, was fucking perfect. Honestly perfect. It was just so fun. And I don't know what's gonna happen next because I still have the finale. I expect it's gonna be good, but not, you know, amazing. I didn't even fucking talk about Miles at all. Miles is really cool. I liked him in his own game, but I think his story kind of just not as good as either of these two. But Miles is really good in this game. There's some really good moments with him and Lee that I really liked and I did not expect. I think the problem with Miles in this game is that his surrounding cast is just not as interesting as Peter's. Ganke is so fucking annoying. I don't care about Ganke at all. Like, genuinely so fucking annoying. Take him out of the game. Haley is fine. She's so fucking, she's nothing. She's deaf. If she wasn't deaf, she would be nothing. There's nothing to her character. She's hard as deaf. And Miles like, which is fine for the story. But I don't know. His mom is okay. But she's not like, she's not on it, you know. I don't love her. She's kind of annoying sometimes. That's shitty. I think he is really good, and I hope the next time that we see Miles, he has a more developed or better or just different cast. Peter is basically the story of this game. The entire structure is a little weird because you're switching between these two guys, and like one of them is clearly like the main. He doesn't feel like a co-lead the same way. His whole thing with Lee is really good. It's one of my favorite parts. So maybe I'll take that back. I just think it's more like a subplot. It's like an A plot and a B plot. And the B plot's really good, and the A plot's a little bit more intriguing, but it's not as well done, frankly. I think I've went over pretty much everything I wanted to say. I think overall it's a good game. It's pretty much on the same level as the first game. I think, yeah, you could have done more. This could have been like really great, like a classic. Honestly, like maybe a year, even 2 years. Why not make it as good as it can be? Because I heard them talk about stuff that they scrapped because of like time. Like that's something you just never want to hear. It's a very entertaining game, but it's, you know, the story sucks. No, I didn't mean to say that. Game is entertaining. It's an entertaining throughout. There are good missions, some great missions, but it's not like, it doesn't break through to being like truly a great game, and it's definitely not like a masterpiece or anything. Also, Ganke fucking sucks. I hate Ganke so. Kill him off. Actually, don't kill him off. Just have him just like fucking just go away, because if you kill him off, there's gonna be a moment he's like, I would probably give this like a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 is not an IGN 7 out of 10 either. 7 is a really good game, but it's not great. 8 is great. 9 is really great. 10 is fucking amazing, perfect. If you like Spider-Man, and especially if you like the first game, yeah, you're gonna like this game. It's fun, but flawed. It's fun but flawed, like the title.